Married at First Sight, season 19, episode 5. This should say episode 5. Big State, Married at First Sight, season 19, episode 5. And it's entitled Trouble in Paradise. And basically, I hope you saw episode 4. If you have not seen episode 4 that I reviewed, please be sure to see, watch, comment, share it out for me, and let me know what you think. Personally, I feel like Brittany's trying to get pregnant. Brittany wants to get pregnant. She's trying to get pregnant because she is the 90-day girl, and guys usually leave her after 90 days. So I think if Will can get her pregnant, then maybe he'll stick around for a little bit longer. If you saw the review, they started having relations without protection. Come on, somebody. Relations without protection. That's a book. Okay. They started, and in the midst of them having relations without protection, he comes to himself and he says, oh my God, I need to stop. She's mad. She's upset. And talk about, I didn't get married to pull back. And I'm like, boo-boo, you just met the man. You're trying to get pregnant already. Personally, I think he don't really like her. And I wish she would just see that and realize that. But anyways, in episode 5, the couples are still in Panama on their honeymoon. And it's entitled Trouble in Paradise. And so it picks up with Megan and Derek. And they're on their way back from the paddleboarding when he tried to talk to her about her not communicating with him. She gets in her feelings and her emotions. She gets upset. She needs some time away. And so the ride home, she was being extremely quiet, didn't say anything. Personally, I think Brittany's been passive aggressive. I told y'all I didn't like her. You see that face she got? I don't like her. Okay, and I don't like her face. Okay. She's been passive aggressive, and I think Derek said he feels guilty because he tried to talk to her and she got upset. In other words, she don't think anything is wrong with her. She thinks she's perfect. And I don't understand why you got married. And in marriage counseling, our marriage counselor tells us you need to be able to fight fear. Everybody should have the open space to say what they want to say without you getting in your feelings and you getting emotional. And he simply said, I don't feel like you're interested. You're not trying to communicate. Instead of her saying, okay, I will do better, she got her in her feelings and her emotions. And now she's having a bitch fit because he tried to talk to her about her communication challenges. Why did you get married? I don't understand. So Derek says he really wants to make sure that they can both bring up things in honest ways. Right. That is what mature adults do. We want to be, because we're trying to get to know each other. So I'm trying to get to know you. You're trying to get to know me. And because we're in the getting to know each other stage, I don't need you getting upset because I'm saying to you, hey, I don't feel like you're communicating with me. And, basically, can you make an effort to communicate better? Right? Adults would do that. Not this stinky face girl with her nose stuck up in the air. So we go over to these two dum-dums, and she comes back from eating. And she's talking about, well, I didn't expect the conversation to be difficult, and I thought it would be organic. Well, I have all these difficulties, and he's laying upstairs in the hammock, and he comes down, she comes in the house, and I didn't expect it to be so difficult. I didn't expect it to be organic. And I'm like, a typical dum-dum. Like, this is a stranger. You're trying to get to know him. You're trying to get to know this man. Why don't you try to figure out, both of them, figure out a way how to communicate with each other? Huh? Her problem is he's not smitten by her. I think that's what it is. Brittany's problem is he's not smitten and he don't want her cookie. Okay? He don't want her cookie. So she says, It's not the romantic and fun honeymoon anyone would hope for. Yes, with somebody you know, somebody you've dated, you've figured out your quirks and you know what each other like and don't like. With the stranger you don't know, you're trying to get to know the stranger, dum dum. So I'm just trying to figure out why you think it's just supposed to be so perfect. Huh? I don't understand. So, they're giving each other the silent treatment, and she got changed into her pajamas. I'm making the assumption she took a shower because we see her come in and then she's in her pajamas. Okay. Girl is hot in Panama. Girl. And so he finally says hi. He's sitting on the bed. They're sitting on the bed. He finally says hi, and she says hi. And he asks her, "So, where did you go?" And she said, "I went to get food." And he said, "Is that something you do often?" And she said, "What?" And he said, "Leave." And she was like, "Well, I told you I was going to go shower." And she was like, "Well, maybe I should have told you I was going to go get something to eat or whatever." And I appreciated that because, you know, if you tell him you're going to go shower, you're supposed to be in the house. You're not supposed to be gone nowhere and he don't nobody know where you at. Okay, Brittany. So I really do appreciated that. I just think she's typical and delusional. So she apologized to him for comparing him to Megan because Megan is being antisocial. She's not really communicating, and Derek is having the same problem with Megan that Will is having with Will, that Brittany is having with Will. And he was like, "No, it's okay." He wasn't offended. He wasn't offended at all. I just Brittany. I think Brittany just want the D. I think he just want the D because he's saying, "I'm usually the one asking those questions." She's like, they're going back and forth, who's asking who question. And then she talked. See, this is the problem, ladies. Y'all question men and talk to men like you're doing an interview. And you can't do it like that, even though it is an interview, right? But you can't do it, ask it in rapid fire where it's an interview. It should just be a conversation. And I just think she wants to get all her questions answered today so that she can get to the D. She just want to get to the D, okay? So he gets up, he gives her a hug, and I really appreciate that. That's like my husband. He's like, "Come give me a hug, give me a kiss." And he sits on the bed and then he kissed her. He sits on the bed and said, "You know what? We're not gonna resolve everything at one time, but I want us to give each other grace. And if you want to go for a walk or if I want to break or something like that, then we're gonna just, say that we're gonna come back at it." And I like that. I really like that. And I really appreciate that because that's what the marriage counselor say. Okay. Give each other a break, go for a walk, come back, go sit on the stairs, go in the van and sit, walk around the block, blow some steam off, and come back and try to talk about it. So I really do appreciate it. She did look like she wanted to cry, but I think Brittany just wants to get to the D. Okay. I think I need to just change my thing and say, I just want to get to the D. Okay. I just want to get to the D. Let me go make me a new thumbnail. I just want to get to the D. There, I changed it because that's what she want. I just want the dig-a-leg. That is all Brittany wants. She just want that D, okay? Because she trying to get her a baby, okay? So we go over to Derek and Megan. They laying in the bed, and he looked like she gave it to him really good, or she made up to him, and you know. And I appreciated what she said. She said she was angry, she was upset. They talked. She is not used to being held accountable and having uncomfortable conversations. And that's exactly what I said. That is exactly what I said in episode 4. She's not used to somebody holding her accountable. She's used to being the boss. And because she's used to being the boss, she's not used to somebody trying to check her on what it is she's doing and what it is she's saying. And that is exactly what I was saying about her. And I'm like, girl, why did you get married? Why did you get married? Because these are things we have to do in marriage. Like you have to figure out how to work with each other and how to fit. You're just not going to fit. But I appreciate her saying, I'm not used to having uncomfortable conversations. And so and she felt ambushed. How do you feel ambushed? Why do you feel ambushed? Because he said he's not asking you, you're not, girl, what? I just don't understand. So they're sitting on the hammock, and she's like, typically she's an avoider. She don't like to kind of face things head on, and I can tell she just is not used to any kind of anything that's not going her way. Derek said he's sort of kind of the same way, but they're both saying they want to make it work, they want it to work. And so they started playing this game that Derek's sister gave him, and the first question is about kids. He wants two or three, and her eyes is like, oh my god. And she's like, two or three, we would have to start right now. And she said her concern is a lot. Two or three is a lot, but she's more concerned about the pain. And I guess that's every woman's concern about the pain. But there's things now, to avoid the pain. I mean, carrying the baby is something else, but there's things to avoid the pain. So I really appreciate them sitting down, talking it through, working it out. I wish they had shown us on camera them talking it and working it out, but it's a shorter season, so it's interesting to see. So let's see if the next time, if Megan is going to try to work the situation out, or is she going to get emotional and get in her feelings. So we swing by Jalen and Josh, and everything is doing good, and everything's going great, and everything is so wonderful, and everything is so cookies and cream, and I am absolutely happy for them. Then we swing by Chad and Belinda, and they're out fishing and having a good time. And I absolutely love that. I love this for Belinda because this is something she didn't have with her baby daddy and her other husband. It's just things couples do together and enjoy things together, swimming, walking in the park, holding hands, eating ice cream in the park. So I absolutely love that. Rhonda and Chad and Will and Brittany, they're hanging out, and I thought that was cute. And Will is they're doing the ride the bike things, the couple bike, and Will said he's the only one that has a break, and they're like, oh my god. Brittany was like, oh, this is a trust thing, and he said, you wanted me to lead, and I'm like, of course she wants you to lead, you're the man. Men are supposed to lead, okay? And she said, yeah, this is the trust thing, and I was like, yes, I love that. But to me, it takes time for me to trust you, okay? So then Brittany and Rhonda, they goes to have their little chat thing. And Brittany's saying that her and Will has an instant connection, but they're learning each other. And Brittany's saying, Rhonda is saying it's the independent Brittany, and she talks about how she got upset and she left and so on and so forth. And Rhonda brought, well, that's the independent Brittany, and you have to let the independent go. I really do believe that in marriage, ladies, you cannot come with, I'm an independent, strong woman, Black woman who don't need a man, okay? So I am happy that Brittany is realizing that it takes time. You may be physically attracted and you want the D, okay? You want the ding-a-ling, but at the same time, you have to learn each other. So I absolutely love that Brittany is coming to the mindset that they have to learn each other. So then we go over to Will and Pat, and they're talking, and of course he's bringing up the communication problem. And Chad asked him, what about the other relationships? And he said the last 2 or 3 relationships he had, he didn't have any communication problems with the ladies. And Pat said, oh, I find that difficult to believe. And he said, no, really, we did not have communication problems, but they are not Brittany. Right. They're not Brittany. So you and Brittany need to learn each other and how to communicate with each other. So then we go back to Brittany and and Rhonda, and they're still talking. And then Brittany asks her, "What about her and Pat?" And she said, "Well, something came up last night. Last night we had a conversation. They were talking about what was the last time he was in a relationship." And Pat said 6 months ago. He was in a relationship 6 months ago, and he broke up with this woman he was dating for 3.5 years. It sounds as if Pat just did this to go on the show. There is no way you was in a relationship with one woman 3.5 years ago, and then all of a sudden you want to come get married to a stranger. Also, I have forgot to mention, I totally forgot this was my era in the weddings that Chad said he was living with his mom. He's been living with his mom for the last 3 years. Maybe I had thought about that. Maybe I did talk about that, but the dad died and he's just there trying to help her. But anyways, I am just as shocked as Rhonda. She said her reaction, her response to him, he felt judged. I'm gonna be honest. If I was in this situation, which I would never be in this situation, I would never marry a stranger because everything has to be perfect for me to like the man. Okay, so I would never be the one to marry a stranger. And her reaction, he made him feel judged. I can just imagine how I would love to see that video. I'm sure she was throwing things, tearing up the bedroom because that's just Rhonda. That's just the type of person she is. Okay. So Will and Pat talks about there have been some challenges on how they got there. Brittany and Rhonda is saying, is he ready for this? If you was in a marriage if you was in a relationship for 3.5 years, you broke up, and then you're in this, you're getting married. Are you really ready for this? Are you really prepared for this? And she is saying how when she tried to talk to him about stuff, he comes off as insecure. And I'm like, I don't think Pat is insecure. I think Rhonda is insecure. And I think she's so insecure, which is why she has to put on. She has to be the loudest person in the room. She has to wear red to the wedding. She has to be the only one talking because she is the one that is insecure. Pat does not give me insecure. And I just think Rhonda is too much woman for him. And you know how I am against this idea, ladies, that you're just too much. I'm not, oh, I'm not just too much. He's just not man enough for me. No, it's you. It's Rhonda. It is Rhonda. I have to come back and do the spoilers. I think the spoilers are all fake. I think they paid them to say yes, and there is no way in God's green earth. So far, none of these couples, as of episode 5, halfway through episode 5, the only couple that should say yes at this moment is Chad and Belinda, and Josh and Jalen. So far in episode 5, I am halfway through episode 5, and halfway through episode 5, the only couple who should say yes on decision day is Belinda and Chad and Josh and Jalen so far. Now, I don't know what's going to happen in the rest of episode 5, okay? But it's foolishness for me, okay? So the couples go to spend a day together, and they're all having a good time, and they all say, everything is going well, little bumps, ups and down, but they're willing to work at it. Jalen, my name is Jalen. Girl, her voice annoys me. And why do you have to have your bathing suit up in the crack of your... Little Michael's going up the stairs. Huh? Why your bathing suit is up in the crack of your... So I'm happy that she did try to dive in the water because Josh is like, we might never get this other opportunity. She dives in, and the mama over there is having heart palpitations. And Chad is like, she's okay. She's with her husband. And I like that about Chad. He is such a gentleman. It's just unfortunate that this is his fourth wedding. So everybody's seeing the couples. They're all doing good. They're kissing and holding and hugging and carrying on. And everybody seems to be having a good time, which is good. So when Jalen was jumping out, was she holding her bathing suit in the crack of her ass? Didn't it look like when she was jumping in and she was holding the back of her hand? Didn't it look like she had her bathing suit in the crack of her ass? Is it just me, or did you think that? Anyways, I forgot to mention she had said that, earlier this week, Josh said he was falling in love. And she's just so excited and happy that Josh is falling in love with her. Josh is falling in love with me. Girl, I cannot. Oh my God, how does he deal with this? Woo, he gonna get sick and tired of her in a minute, y'all. So after the ball, the couples are having dinner, and Derek and Megan, they're talking, and I guess they're getting ready to go back home, and she's talking about her dog, and he doesn't have any animals. It doesn't matter if other people have animals. He's just concerned about the sleeping issue because his sister has dogs, and they sleep in the bed, they snore, and carrying on. So then this monkey started, they heard this sound, and Megan's like, what's that? And Derek is like, oh, that's a monkey. And she said something about the monkey's balls, that they got big balls, and making this crazy sound. And then Derek says, I can make that sound later. And Megan sitting there with her lips all pushed up, looked at him, and he's just so embarrassed that he threw the handkerchief over his face. And I just had to bust out laughing. Oh, y'all, there's just something about Derek. I cannot let go of this feeling I have about him. I don't know what it is. But if you know what it is, comment below. I thought that was hilarious. So I guess the couples, they're doing little events after their boat ride, and Will and Brittany, they go on this little historical thingy, something colonial people, something. I don't know. I just zone out when Will be talking sometimes, but his little purse was cute. He had a man purse. It was cute. And Brittany got to the top of the castle. She was like, I've always wanted to kiss my man at the top of the castle. He's just there trying to kiss her, and she's just running her lips. And then he just, he said, you want to kiss your man at the top of the castle? Let's do that right now. And so they kissed. It was cute. It was a cute little thingy they were doing. It was cute, but I realized Will is knock kneed. Ooh, I can't stand no knock kneed man, honey. It is not right. So Rhonda and Pat goes to have drinks, and I guess it's a bartender making drinks. Oh my God, he sounds like a girl. Can you imagine your man sounding like that? But anyways, child, they made 2 drinks. They go to sit down, and Rhonda brought up the incident that happened the other night. And I told y'all, I could see Rhonda going crazy when Pat told him when he was in a relationship and when he broke it off. He basically said her eyes, he said, you should have seen yourself. And she was like, how did that look? And he said, your eyes was glass over. And she was just shocked that he said that. And he's saying that he felt judged. I have a problem with these delusional people. I was talking about, don't judge me. I felt judged. Of course, everything is a judgment. Me sitting here doing this video right now is me making a judgment instead of me going to take a nap. Okay. I'm just so tired of delusional people talking about, I feel judged. Yeah, you should be judged. You was in a relationship for 3.5 years. You didn't marry that girl. You broke up with her 6 months ago. And 6 months later, you're on married at first sight, get married at first sight. How can you think somebody's not going to judge you based on that? Oh my God, I'm so annoyed. And then Rhonda is going to say, but do you understand? It's not about you. It's about me. I am so sick and tired of her talking about me, myself my name is Jimmy. Gimme, my name is Jimmy. I am so exhausted of her. I just need her to just go away. And I hope Pat just leave her in Panama, Costa Rica, wherever she is, because I cannot. Nobody deserves to put up with her. She's toxic, okay? Rhonda is toxic, okay? And Pat needs to leave her. So then Miss Rhonda started talking about how, I've been on my own, and I need time to process, and oh my God, we've been together for 24 hours. And, when I get home, I'm going to need time. I need to go time for a 2-mile walk. And I'm like, if you wanted time together alone, why not just say you need time alone? Then she said she tried to tell him that she needed time alone, and he didn't give her that. But did you actually say, I need some time alone? I need 2 hours by myself? And then obviously she has planted the seed in his head that he's insecure to the point that he is now saying, I'm insecure. It's that insecurity. Oh Lord, just go ahead and get the divorce right now. Don't even wait. Okay, these two, they're not gonna work. They are not good for each other. They are not good. I think they both need to go to counseling. And you know what? Another thing I forgot to mention, but I remember when she said he's insecure is when Rhonda and Brittany was talking when they went on the bike ride, how she was saying his 30-year marriage effed him up. Well, what do you think it did to his wife that he left of 30 years because she didn't want to do the do with him? What you think that did to him, Rhonda? But you know what? Pat said something that I am so glad. Okay, from my mouth to the ears of God, because God will not let any of my words fall to the ground. Pat said, he's been delusional to thinking it's going to be easy. You have got to be delusional to think you're going to marry a stranger and it's going to be easy. You figure it is hard when two people date each other, get to know each other, meet our families, know our quirks, we get married. There are some challenges, but you think you're going to marry a stranger and it's going to be easy? Sir, what? Tell me you're a dum-dum without telling me you're a dum-dum, because there is no way you thought this was going to be easy. And he is seeing it's going to be hard. She's a stranger. You don't know anything about her. Shout out to Cousin Kimberly. Hey, Cousin Kimberly. She said she's just glad that the couples are all attracted to each other. I didn't realize that. That is true. Be sure to check out Cousin Kimberly on Kimberly Reviews. I absolutely love that. Thank you so much, Cousin Kimberly, for saying that. So Jillian and Josh, they're at the pool and they're talking, and she brought up about how she grew up. She said she grew up pretty privileged. They had the birthday parties and the gifts and stuff like that. And Josh, he grew up poor. He loved how he grew up with his grandparents, but he was basically poor. Then they brought up school, how she got distracted by men, right? This is why you'll have to, I tell my young lady, just leave the men alone. Try to figure out your life. Travel, go to school. Josh said he didn't go to school, so she didn't want somebody being extremely judgmental who wanted her to go to school. And when she didn't finish, Josh didn't go to school because basically he couldn't afford it. And this is the thing I say about school. A lot of people are deciding not to go to school because school is so expensive. And so, they come up with other excuses. Oh, I don't want to do this. I want to do it. But when you get down to the nitty gritty, it's all because of money. So my question is, if you had the money, if money was not a problem, would you have gone to college? There are some people who is just not college minded. I have a brother who didn't want to go to college. So we all put our money together and sent him to barber school for 6 months. And he got like 2 or 3 barbershops right now. But my other brother and I, of course, we wanted to go to college and we are working in our field. So I always say, if you're not going to college because of money, then you should probably still go to college. Okay. So I want to know what you guys think about that. And again, yes, I know college is not for everybody, but let's just be true. Black people, when did we start saying this? 50 years ago, we weren't saying college is not for everybody. We was also trying to go to college to get a degree so we could get that good job. Okay. And yes, there are some people called to be mechanics and electricians and plumbers and stuff like that. Yes, if that's your calling, then go ahead and do it. But there are some people who do want to go to college. So I want to know what you guys think about that. So then Jillian says that she's never really saw her parents in love, like they were showing love and affection to them, which is kind of strange because Hispanic families are usually very loving, touchy-feely and stuff like that. But I think that's just probably part of we getting married young and we're just trying to struggle together and we're just trying to stay together for the kids. Josh said he grew up in a family that, very loving. His grandparents were very loving towards each other, kissing on the lips. I have a problem with that. After about 1 year old, honey, don't be kissing nobody on the lips. But anyways, that's your family. You do what you want to do. And is it just me? But honey, the way Josh was laid out on the lawn chair, like, girl, oh my God, Josh. Oh Lord, you know what? I can't. I can't. I like Josh. He all right, but I ain't like how he was laid out on that lawn chair, honey. He looked real sassy. Okay, Josh was looking really sassy, laying out on that lawn chair. So Chad and Belinda, they're going to dinner, and you know what I noticed about Belinda? She consistently asks him if this is what it's going to be like when they get home. It's as if she doesn't really believe that this is who he is, and she's bringing up romance and romantic side, and he was like, yeah, we could go do different things and go to dinner and roses, and she's like, well, when I talk about romance, I'm thinking about hugging and kissing and cuddling, and yeah, I'm like, yeah, and going out, Belinda. And he's like, yeah, but we can cook at home, but at least one time let's go out. Like, I like that too, Chad. Dressing up, going out. My husband and I, we go out. I can't wait to retire because I've already put my date in his calendar. The day we're gonna have lunch or breakfast, probably breakfast every week. Okay, every week. That's a part of being retired. And I totally agree with Chad about being romance. It's more than just hugging and kissing. Like, how much hugging and kissing you need to do? Okay, I want to go out. I want to dress up. I want to go out. Send me some flowers. Send me a gift. Buy me a gift. Buy me a cook a candy bar. Like, there's this candy bar I like it. My husband, every so often, he goes out and when he goes to the supermarket, and I'm like, it's like he's proposing to me all over again, because it's those little things that I know he's thinking about me, and me even at work. Sometimes I get lunch and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna bring part of my lunch home from Mike because my husband works from home. And he likes that. Even on Friday, we had Chinese for lunch because it was somebody's birthday, and my lunch came with wonton soup. And I'm like, I ain't gonna drink that, but I know Mike would like it, and I brought it home for him. So it's little things like that. And he was like, I'll buy you a dozen roses, okay? So then Belinda is sharing, and then it's come time for Chad to share. And obviously, he's looking at the cameras. And then he's trying to talk, and it seemed like the producers are trying to rush him through talking. And he's like, I'm getting there. And the producer's jumping in. How does Belinda make you feel? And he's like, you're killing me. And they just keep getting in and jumping in. And he's like, I am trying to talk. He was like, leave us, allow us to talk and get there, allow us to have a conversation. I totally agree with Chad. I totally agree with Chad on that. Like, they're talking, they're vibing. Leave them. You could always cut and paste and do all of this stuff that y'all do with the cameras, anyways, but allow him to talk and spend time with Belinda. Belinda, you can see she got so embarrassed, and she's like, oh my God, he has anger problems. She didn't say that, but that's the look on her face. Like, he has anger problems. I'm just going to be honest and tell you that I would also be annoyed if it was me trying to talk and stuff, and y'all getting on my nerves trying to rush me along. I totally agree with Chad. I probably would have done the same thing. And I think they need to just leave him alone. Chad seemed to be the man that has to search for his words. Leave him alone and let him enjoy his dinner with Belinda. Okay? So they get back to the room, and obviously Belinda is annoyed, and Chad asks, what do you want to talk about? And she's like, well, what happened? It's about respect. And he was like, I didn't disrespect you. And he said, I didn't think I was disrespectful. I am on Chad's side here. I'm sorry. I am totally on Chad's side. But I do get Belinda is thinking he has an anger problem. And basically, she thinks he was disrespectful to the producers. I don't think he was disrespectful. I get that he was annoyed and he was frustrated. And at this moment, I am on Chad's side. Maybe I could think I could help me in the comments, but I do not. They're annoying that man. You already know he's not quick with his words. I did not like he said that he's usually the one barking orders. I don't like the word barking. I think you can communicate your desires without barking. Okay. She said that she feels like he will resent her if she shows up for herself. And she started crying. What are you crying for, Belinda? What? There was nothing to cry about. Unless you're seeing another side of him off camera that we're not seeing, and you're thinking this man has an anger problem. If that's the case, then that's a little bit different, okay? But I love the moment they had in the bed, them talking, him talking. She's like, I don't get past stuff quickly overnight. I get you, Belinda. I'm like that too. Take me a minute, okay? It takes me a minute to get past it. But I still like Chad and Belinda, and this incident, I'm on his side, and the producers can go kick rocks or whatever they say. Then we go over to Will and Brittany, girl, and this is what smacked me in my face. Bam! I said, no, no, Will, no, you cannot wear this blouse. You cannot wear this. Will, you cannot. You got 2 earrings on, your lips are red, and then you have on a pink sheer blouse. No. These look like my panties. This is what my panties look like. And this is why everybody thinks you're sugary. Let me find out from my husband what he shared. My husband would not court my. He would never even touch something like this. Will, what is this you have on? Brittany's over there crying, talking about it's always something. I guess it is with when your man wearing panties. I guess. What is this? Oh my God. I can't. I cannot. So this hot behind one, honey, hot coochie. We were confident with each other. And I felt like you would be okay with being intimate with me. And apparently you're not. Of course it's not, because you're trying to get a baby. You are trying to get a baby. And this man is not trying to give you a baby. He looks like a baby. He looks like a baby. He is not trying to give you a baby. Take your cookie off the table, Miss Hot Coochie. That's her name, Hot Coochie. Okay? Burning Coochie. Is that Burning Coochie? Because, girl, you're trying to make a baby. He is not trying to get a baby. Like, what's wrong with you? Oh my God. I cannot wear her. So then she says, I feel rejected by you. I thought we were okay. You don't want to be intimate with me, and I feel rejected by you. Be glad. Be glad, Brittany, that he's rejecting you. Okay? Be glad that he don't want your coochie. Girl, what is wrong with you? Will, don't put it in there, okay? Do not put your dingling in her kitty cat, because she, even if you wear condoms, she might try to bust a hole in the condom, because she's just desperate for a baby, and we don't need to make you two don't need no baby, okay? Don't make a baby, please. So then she says, no wife want to hear her husband doesn't want to be intimate with it. Ma'am, you've been married for 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Then he said, I do think we have a good day. And she says, you're not addressing the problem. And he said, I'm just trying to be prudent after the last time. Yes, because Brittany didn't want to get her legs from around his neck or around his back. He was trying to get out of the kitty, and she was holding on to him. So do y'all not know how to use condoms? Will, do you not know how to use a condom? I'm confused. There's no condoms at the hotel? You can't go buy a condom? Though I just, I would buy it and put it on and don't trust her, because she might try to bust a hole in it. Or, well, you're a grown man. I'm sure you can figure it out, She's trying to get her baby. That's what she wants, a baby. Okay, I think I need to put this in my thumbnail. Okay, I need to put this in my thumbnail. Yeah. Woo, Lord. So then they give the flashback of him stopping and not wanting to do it, and she just want the D. That's what she wants. She wants the D, and he's like, it's the reaction, and he was like, I can just take myself out of the equation. We can do everything else but that, and we should wait. Girl, that is what every woman wants to hear. Every woman, especially church girls, dating for marriage wants to hear he's willing to wait. Except for you. You don't want to hear he wants to wait. So what's wrong with you, Brittany? Huh? What's wrong with you, hot coochie? Huh? Your coochie is so much on fire that you don't want to hear. You don't want to. This is music to our ears. A man wanting to wait, granted, he looks like this. Lord have mercy, wanting to wait is music to our ears. Okay? Basically, Will don't want the coochie girl. He don't want it. And now I'm starting to think maybe something is wrong with it. Maybe something is wrong with it because you can have safe, S-A-F-E, sex. Okay? I understand pulling out the last time, stopping, but you can have sex without getting her pregnant. So maybe something is wrong with the coochie. That has got to be the problem. Maybe something is wrong with it. Something has got to be wrong with it for him not to want it. I could understand if he didn't have any protection, but you can go get some protection. Granted, I appreciate him saying like, no, we need to be wait. Let's be prudent. We need to be wait. But now that I'm thinking about it, her talking about I need a minute and he walking up the stairs holding up his pants like a gown. Oh, my Lord. Maybe something's wrong with the coochie. Maybe something's wrong. If y'all heard Lou Michael laughing, he's upstairs watching his show. It's not about this, okay? Maybe something's wrong with it. But I do think he don't really like her. She's smitten by him, of course, and he's just like, I just cannot wait to get away from this woman. Okay. So he went upstairs with his pants held up and in his silk blouse. His panty shirt. So the couples, it's the last night. The couples are getting ready to go back together. Pat and Rhonda. Pat is nervous about living with someone because she haven't lived with someone in 25 years. Pat hasn't shacked up in he's not sure, is it 5 years, 7 years, and he's nervous. I noticed all of a sudden now Rhonda wants all this space. Like, I want to be able to go for a walk by myself, and I'm like, of course you go for walks by yourself. Everybody need their alone time. Like, what kind of dum-dum is this? Like, and he's asked, well, are you going to be okay if I just want to go to the store by myself? He was like, yeah, have fun. Like, I don't understand what Rhonda is talking about. Do you not? I'm confused. I'm confused. Okay. Megan and Brittany. Megan and Derek are also nervous about living together. He said that being at the hotel, the resort has been very nice, but it's interesting how he would like to keep it going when they start living together. And each people have to make sacrifice. And she's like, play electronic music from 9 to 3, and then from 3 on is country music. He'll see about that. And then she talks about him leaving the toilet seat up. I don't understand how grown men don't close toilet seat. That's why I'm training my little boy. My little boy, he's 10, little Michael, knows to close the toilet seat. So did your mama not teach y'all how to close the toilet seat? I'm confused. Did your mama not teach you to close the toilet seat after you're done using it? All these men not closing the toilet seat. I had my husband doing that bullshit when I came home. When we got married, honey, let me tell you, I need to do a video about what I did to get him to close the toilet seat. I don't play with it. And when I come home, you can know my husband is so used to working for home because sometimes I come home, that toilet seat is up. And I'm upstairs. I'm like, Mike, did you leave the toilet seat? Please come close the toilet. He will come close the toilet so I can use the toilet. Okay? I just don't understand what's going on with the toilet seat. But anyway. So then we go over to Jillian and Josh. They're laying in the bed, and she's saying her lease is up in May, and she's probably gonna go live with him. He has a house, so on and so forth. And then they're talking about this is our last night. We can make a fun of the night. Girl, was that mold in the shower? Rewind the camera, go back to episode 5. The last scene when they are in the shower, I saw 2 spots of mold. Please tell me that my eyes were deceiving me. I saw mold. I'm gonna go back and see if I could take those pictures. How gross and nasty. Oh my God. Anyways, that was season 5. Episode 5. Y'all got a lot. That's 45 minutes. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Leave a comment for me. Let me know what you think. Episode 6 is coming. I don't know, but at least I'm all caught up now. And I'll try to give y'all episode 6 maybe tomorrow. I absolutely love you. I adore you. Be sure to subscribe, thumbs up, share this out. Let me know what you think. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.